And welcome to the third in the series about the party in the briefcase. I was telling you in the last video about the Arduino Nano. Here it is. This is how tiny it is. Very small. And this is the soundboard, which is also tiny. So you can see it has a microphone at this end, a volume control which I've set to somewhere in the middle of its range, and a little amplifier chip. And that's all there is to it. And you just connect plus 5 volts, A0 and ground. And the other pin, which is a digital pin, you don't need to worry about, we're not going to use it. So let's just start off with the Arduino itself, running that software that I showed you, and I'm just going to plug that in now. And as you can see, it is actually triggering because I'm rustling the microphone about. But now you can see it's just quite ambient levels, and you can see the LED on there is just starting to trigger occasionally. And in a moment, when it's turned the threshold down, because it's getting no real input signal from any music, it's quite quiet in here, it's just me speaking, and it's not going to flash on and off until it's settled down to a level, and there it is now, it's starting to pick up my voice. And so there you are. That is basically the sound level light, the one which would drive the strip light, and it's triggering quite a lot at the moment because there is some ambient noise, just not very much. And you can see if I clap or something, there. Now the LEDs are built onto this piece of aluminium, and the reason for that is to provide a heat sink for the LEDs. And as you can see, I've put the drivers on the rear, insulated with a piece of plastic under each one. The reason for that is that that tab which you put on a heatsink is actually connected to one of the pins of the device, and guess what, we don't want to do that. It would just short a few things out, so we're not doing that. And the LEDs are just connected as per that circuit diagram. It's taken down a cable into the Arduino, into those pins, and also I've run the ground down because for the moment I'm supplying the LEDs from the power supply, and the Arduino I'm supplying through the USB cable. So I just wanted to tie the grounds together to make sure there wasn't a problem with logic levels. So without further ado, let's turn on the power supply for the LEDs. As you can see, it's the main LEDs running now, and they're very bright. In fact, they're overloading the camera so much. In fact, they overload my eyes a little bit. There's a blue one, a red one, and a green one. And in fact, even in daylight, which it is at the moment, they light up the whole room. So what's it like when you play some music? Well, let's try a quiet drum type track first. And as you can see at the moment, it's a bit overloaded, and the system will gradually tune itself. If I go and turn the music off, you'll see that the system will go quiet for a while and then revive itself. And if we put some louder music on, we put a bit of rock music on, put a bit of AC/DC on. As you can see, it tracks the volume change very well. So quiet passages in the music will result in still some activity in the LEDs, which is not the case with a lot of commercial sound to light. A lot of commercial sound to light, low volume, equals no activity. And that's exactly what I didn't want. And here we are with a slightly quieter musical passage. And as you can see, it's still picking up the rhythm, and it's still all working. So thanks very much, and that's the end of the third video on the party in the briefcase. By the way, these LEDs, they've been running now for about 5 minutes. The surface of them is warm, not at all what you'd describe as hot, and the heatsink is just above ambient temperature, and I would not hesitate in having this thing on for 8 or 9 hours. Not a problem at all, I don't think. Thank you very much. Bye.